All right. Good evening, folks. How you doing? And I can now see the Acts on This TV email list has now gone out, so people will be getting notifications of this live stream right now. So hopefully more people will join us as the hour goes on. Got loads to discuss tonight, lots to cover. But as promised last week when we went live last week, I've been telling people, for a couple of weeks, listen, start getting focused on what you want from 2021, on your goals. I don't think that goal setting should be sort of like exclusively left till December. December starts tomorrow, but it is a good time of year to really start reflecting on the past 12 months. If you're any further ahead now than you were 12 months ago. Not that this year is over yet. Remember, we always say that there is still 4 weeks left. There's still time to do damage. And I know for a lot of people here, Wendy, I know for you, for a start, I saw your comment in the Facebook group, that 2020, although it's been a rough year for a lot of people, is ending with a bang. Like, things are looking up. The last few weeks of 2020 have actually got very positive for a lot of actors. A lot of stuff's picked up again. So there is still time to make some noise in the last 4 weeks of 2020. But it's now time as well to start looking forward to 2021, to what I'm very optimistic will be a much easier year. The first half of it might still, be a little bit of a challenge in a few respects. But when we're all vaccinated, by sort of April, May, June, maybe, it's going to be a cracking year. And even until then, it can still be a cracking year. So what I want you to do, first of all, before we get stuck in, I'm going to cover some little housekeeping things to begin with. Get yourself over to the, where is it there? To the URL you see on your screen. It's actonthis.tv/goals. Just pop your first name and your email address in, and in your email within 30 seconds should be, and let me know if this is working, should be a link to a PDF document that you can click on, and it will take you to a PDF document that will just open on your device. Hopefully it'll open and you can open it in a different tab. So you've got this video, you can still hear me. You might still see me, but you've got that, workbook there. I'm going to take you through it. Actually, you don't have to have it up on your screen at the same time as tonight. But after this, you're going to want it because you're going to want to go through it and recap on what we've covered tonight. And before I do that, and whilst everybody's going to actonthis.tv/goals to get your workbook, let me know in the Facebook comments if you have, once you've got that, and if it is coming through okay. Like I say, emails have been a little bit slow today from my server because it seems like the whole world is obviously sending emails out for Cyber Monday and Black Friday weekend, etc. Before that, I'm going to have a little bit of a recap on an incredible actonthis.tv live webinar that we held for members last week. We had casting associate Alyssa Rogers join us, who is Fiona Weir's casting associate, cast some massive stuff like Brassic, Sky Wants Brassic. She was also, Alyssa was also the casting associate on Ted Lasso when Theo Park was casting Ted Lasso. Alyssa was the associate on that. And we had her on last week for a private mastermind session for all members of actonthis.tv, and it was bloody brilliant. It was so good. As always, at the start of these broadcasts, I'm just going to take you over to the site. This is actonthis.tv. If you're not a member, come and join. We're talking about hitting your goals in 2021. The site is going to help you do that in your acting career, without a doubt. But you will find a preview of the webinar that we held, the mastermind that we held with Alyssa, here in the preview section. You can watch a little bit of it there, along with all the other ones we've held recently. Members, you will find the full 2-hour version of that in your members area. Click into your premium membership. I am sharing this. Yeah, I always do that. I always panic that I'm not sharing my screen. Stop doing that, Ross. And you will find it in the top there. Our latest 5 features. You will find it smack bang in the top. You can watch the video if you're a member, or you can listen to the podcast version if you're a member, which means you can, do 2 things at once. You can get yourself in the gym, in your home gym, because gyms are closed at the moment, or on a walk, or on a run, or in the car, or whatever you're doing whilst you're cooking your breakfast. You can listen to the podcast version of that. But it is superb. It was such a positive chat. After a challenging year, we always put a positive spin on stuff at the in the actonthis.tv community, because I think that's just the only way you should live your life. The alternative is that you just look at what's wrong in the world all the time and you just end up fed up and you don't actually have the motivation to do anything. But here is just a little 2-minute mashup of what you missed. But Alyssa, such a positive soul. Fantastic. Because we have the casting associate for Ted Lasso in the house, also casting associate for some other massive shows like Sky One's Brassic, upcoming Stephen Merchant comedy The Offenders, now residing at Fiona Weir Casting. It's Alyssa Rogers. Alyssa, welcome to Acts on This. How are you?
I went to the Berlin Film Festival, and that's where I met Jeremy Zimmerman.
Right, okay.
who brought me to London, and I had no clue who he was. We were at the same agency reception, and he just pulled my arm and said, "Hello, darling," and we just started a conversation.
Could you break down kind of how Fiona's office works for us, Alyssa, and just like who's in it and what everybody's role is?
Yeah, so the team is now Fiona, Sinead, Sarah, and myself.
How would Andrea keep that relationship open now, again, without becoming overkill and without becoming a pest?
I would say maybe give it like 3 months, but again, we do keep people in mind. We have it all files, we have everything, we know where to go back. Like we save it all.
I have some material professionally shot as an American character, and I just wanted to know how much of that role do you put in your show reel?
Is there any tip you can give me? Because I plan to relocate to the UK.
Literally, if you can see this, I've literally highlighted positivity. It's background.
How did you stay on the ball and like stay, positive and inspired?
It's just, just believe in yourself and stay positive, because it's the energy and the aura that you spread out. That's why Jeremy came up to me. That's why I got those jobs with the people, because I was positive. And you want to work with positive people who give you a good feeling, and you want that reciprocated. It's a hard job like everybody else, but it's hard work and patience, and that will get you where you want to be. That's where it got me. It wasn't just my positivity, it was hard work as well, and just like being patient and just believing in myself. Again, believe in yourself. That's what I want to give you guys in the industry. That's one thing. Believe in yourself.
Believe. Yeah, it's like the way, Chris, you've got your notepad up there and he's going, look what I've written here, positivity. It was just a super uplifting, inspiring, motivating chat that, I know a lot of actors who were on that call, a lot of members of ActsOnThis.tv who were on that call, like took an awful lot away from it. And I know a load of you guys have already reached out to Alyssa, so let us know if you have had any success there. I'm sure it will not be long until you're invited for, to self-tape or to audition and stuff. If you ever reached out, she just seems like a super champion of actors. Just wants everyone to do well, which is amazing, and so do I. That's why we're going to start looking at your goals in a second. I can see loads of people have now gone to actsonthis.tv/goals to get that ebook. Let me know if it's come through for you. Like I say, it takes a little bit because the server will be busy, but I've started to receive notifications, which means at least it's sending stuff to me. Let me know once you've had it through. Don't worry, it will be through by the end of this broadcast without a doubt. But you'll be able to get that at the end, like throughout this broadcast. At some point, I'm going to share my copy of it with you, so we can go through it together. So anything else before we start that I wanted to cover? I don't think so. We might as well just dive right in. Right, first of all, before I bring this PDF up, over the last couple of weeks, I've started asking you to think about what you want from 2021. Let me know in the comments if you've been doing that. I think this year has been, it's been completely different to any other year I've had in my entire life. So I think normally, reflecting back on the year, it's a pretty standard process, right? What would I mark out of 10 in this area? Or, like we asked those questions last week, didn't we? Those 5 questions. What went well this year? What could I improve on? What did I learn? It's been an interesting one this year. Been very, very different. And you might look back, and normally I would say to people, are you any further in your acting career this year, in this December, than you were last December? And if the answer is no, then I'd be like, right, something obviously has got to change. But this year, because things have been the way they have, I want people to be a little bit sort of just extra kind to themselves, okay? Because you have had a year like no other, we all have. Equally though, I know some people who, have been very fortuitous with that, and if this hadn't happened, they wouldn't have met this person, that wouldn't have led to that, and they've ended up getting jobs or getting signed by agents that they wouldn't have ever, been able to had things been normal. So it's had its pros and it's had its cons, but I'm going to bring this PDF up on the screen. Where is it? I've got to get it first, haven't I? Come on, Ross, sort yourself out, man. It's it. Now, let me know how big this is. It might be a bit massive, this. It's very orange as well. Let me know if you're seeing that and if you're seeing it all right. Massive orange. Act on this, the TV Actors Network. It's time to get smart about your acting career goals. I'm just going to wait and make sure that I can see it on Facebook in a second because I am watching myself as well. But this is a PDF that you guys will get access to if you've been to actonthis.tv/goals. Put your email address in. It will be winging its way over to you. I did test this before the broadcast. It definitely works, but it might just take a little while to come through to you. So be patient. As long as you filled your details in, it will be with you. I'm just checking to see if anybody has had it through yet. Let me know if you have, but you will definitely get it. Do not panic. Don't worry about it. Right. Okay. So here we go. Let me walk you through this, and then you can read it in your own time. And after this, after tonight, maybe straight after tonight, start thinking. Or tomorrow, go for a walk and start thinking about what you want from your life and your career. This strategy works in your acting career, but it also works in any area of your life as well. And tonight, like it says on the screen there, we're going to learn how to set goals that you can actually hit, and also goals that, they're lofty goals, they're goals that will stretch you, but, if you put the work in and you act on your goals, if you set them in this way, you will find it I know it's a big statement, but practically impossible not to hit them or not really make progress towards them anyway. Table of contents in this little book. We've got an introduction. It says, congratulations on taking action and downloading this ebook. Now, a lot of you will have done, and hopefully a lot of you will have received it by now. If you're listening on the replay, that's on this.tv/goals. You'll probably get it straight away because you won't be downloading it on Cyber Monday. You are only a few steps away from designing the life and acting career that you really want. Little bit on little page 2 there. One of my favourite quotes from Tony Robbins ever. It says, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. It's good, that, innit? Give me some likes in the comments if you just like that, because it's decent, that, innit? Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. A lot of people don't set them. They have random general ideas in their head of things that they might want to pursue or a direction they might want to go in, and they're not making really any steps into making towards making that invisible, which is invisible to the rest of us. It's just in your head, visible to everybody else. So setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Literally just writing a goal down. I think statistically it's crazy. It gives you something like a 42% higher chance of hitting it than if you just keep it in your head. So, love a wee workbook, says Nicola. Have you got the workbook or what? Let me know if it's if it's on his way. Chapter 3, it's time to get smart with your acting career, about your acting career goals, your guide to designing the life and acting career you really want. 4, it's just a little call to action for anyone who's not a member of Acts on This to come and get involved in the community. So, intro from me. It says, congratulations on taking action, downloading this ebook. You're only a few steps away from designing the life and acting career you really want. Just a quick message to say thanks for downloading this free ebook on goal setting, but just because it was free, and this is what I can't hit home enough, because when you get shit for free, you don't value it, right? Just because this workbook is free, it's no excuse not to take action on it, right? The information that I share over this workbook and over the next few pages you're going to see is super powerful, right? And if you implement it, I assure you, you are going to see transformation over the next 12 months. What I teach you here was taught to me in 2014, and it honestly changed my life. I mean, massively. And I'll tell you, the first thing that I took action on, actually, is back in 2014, after learning how to set goals, was to get an idea out of my head, about turning the invisible into the visible, to get an idea out of my head that was to start running voiceover classes and voiceover training for actors who wanted to get into voiceover, because I'd been doing voiceover by that point for 10 years, and so many actors in the Acts on This community were asking me about voiceover. I was like, I can't keep answering emails. I'm going to have to just, because it takes too long, I'm going to start running some workshops where everyone can come, and we'll get them in a studio. And I hooked up with my agent, and we put together these amazing voiceover workshops that we don't run anymore because it took over my life, to be honest with you. But just to show you the power of actually setting goals, I thought of that for 4 years before I did it. And until I actually learned how to set goals properly, it was never going to be visible. It was always going to stay invisible in my head. I just wouldn't, had I not written it down and figured out how I was going to do it, it would never have happened. And that business brought in, I mean, like a significant amount of money. It wasn't worth it in the end to me because of the stress that they brought. But in 15 days, 15 days after setting that goal, I launched that business. Just 15 days. And I thought about it for 4 years. Why did I think about it for 4 years and procrastinate? But once I'd written it down, 15 days, and that business brought in about 65, 70 grand a year. It nearly killed me. I didn't want to do it, and I deleted the whole thing. But it proved to me that I could create businesses. It proved to me that I needed to believe more in my own potential, that I had the ability, to teach other people. And that, ultimately I was sort of like the master of my own destiny in a way. And I needed to just stop, thinking that I couldn't do things or make things or build things myself. And it was just it changed my life. Like when I say it changed my life, it really did. It was massive because I went, oh my God, why am I doing, why am I working obviously they smashed a mug. In and out of retail, like hating my job. I can just set up my own businesses and do my own thing and then work more on my acting career and do more in the voiceover world and stuff like that. It was really a transformational moment in my life. So this stuff's powerful, even though you're getting it for free. It was it is a really powerful, exercise. And Chris says that is not my signature. It's not, Chris. That's digital, that, mate. That is definitely on the screen. What am I doing here on this laptop? Stop it. That is just a very fancy font, mate. So that's not my signature. I do 2 random scribbles, he says. Then write my initials. 2 used to PCs now to handwrite. Yeah, not my signature, that. Just lied about it. Right, there's that quote from Tony. Setting goals is the first step in turning the visible into the visible. Now we're going to get into this method, right? Your guide to designing the life and acting career that you really want. Okay, so first off, let me say this. Goal setting, like I said at the start, should not be left exclusively till December. Yes, people get pumped just before a brand new year begins. But if you want to achieve real success, you should be setting goals all year round, okay? As I say, this year's been a weird year. So if you've not done it, chill out, right? Next year, you're going to do it. Research suggests that the high achievers amongst us are pursuing anywhere up to 10 goals at any one time, but don't be overwhelmed at the thought of that. I would suggest, if you're not used to doing this in your life, don't set more than 7 this year at a time. Once you've hit one, you can add another one on. But I think at any time, 7 to 10. Less than 7 is not enough. More than 7 is probably too much if you're not used to doing this. And these are goals not just in your acting career. Don't set 7 acting career goals. Your life will be so dull. Set 2, and then set 5 around other areas in your life, and they can be your physicality and your health. They could be your relationships. They could be your emotional mastery, your spirituality, maybe, your education, your knowledge, your learning, upskilling, all kinds of stuff, right? But you should have, to keep your life enriched and sort of always with purpose and with a direction, I think 7 goals is a decent amount to have. Let me know if you are up for that in the chat. Setting your goals the smart way not only makes them manageable, but also very achievable, right? And in this ebook, I'd like to explore what SMART goals are and how you can utilize them both inside and outside of your acting career. Let's go. Now, you've probably heard of SMART before. It's an acronym that's been going around for forever and ever, right? Goal setting the smart way brings structure and trackability, so important, to your objectives. The SMART acronym, been around for decades. It was first used I could find 1981 was the first time that it kind of was around from, but it might have even been earlier than that. But I see so few actors actually using it to get really laser focused on what it is that they want from their life. And it stands for this. It stands for S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for achievable, R is for relevant, although some people use the word realistic there in SMART goals. I always use relevant. I'm not saying which one's right or wrong, but I'll explain relevant tonight because I think realistic is covered in achievable. But some people go achievable and realistic. I'm like, they're just the same thing. So relevant, I'm going for it as R. And T is the most important of all, time bound. Because if you don't put a time limit on when you're going to achieve a goal by or when you're going to try and hit it, or you keep pushing it back and back and back, you never hit it. You never hit it. And this is something you should never do. We're going to look at T for time bound, but don't set all of those 7 goals to be achieved by the same time. Don't set them all for next December because you won't do any of them. You'll leave it like you were at school and like the 6 weeks holidays came around and every time I got homework, I used to do this. I used to annoy myself with this. I would have in my head as 6 weeks holidays, I'm going to do a bit of homework, just a little bit a day, 20 minutes a day. I'll have it all done in 3 weeks. I never did it. I left it till the day before I went back to school, and I honestly ended up crying. Actually, I'm not even afraid to admit it. Actually, most years, crying. At the overwhelm of going, holy shit, Mrs. Hughes is going to kill me. I've not done my art homework. Mrs. What was her name? The home ec woman. We had to do like a big project and then a CDT project. Mr. Fawkes, bless him, but massive alky. He would knock you out if you didn't do your work. Shit, scared of him. I never did it because I always was like, oh no, I've got plenty of time. So don't set your goals to all be achieved at the same time. You'll never do it. So let's take a look at each of these letters in a bit more detail. And then we're going to look at like how you set goals around these. And I'm going to give you some examples. And then, like I say, at the end of this, you will be ready to go away and set your own. Zach says he's got it through. Are people now getting the workbook through? Yes, I like it. And cheers, Zach. He's put the link in the chat. Some people are sharing the link in the chat. Yeah, if you're new to this broadcast and you've not gone and got the workbook that I'm going through tonight, actonthis.tv/goals. Go get it. It's completely free. There's literally no strings attached to this. I just genuinely tonight want to help you understand what you want from next year. And then in this community, we'll hold you accountable and make sure that you bloody do it. You achieve these things. So S, specific, guys, right? This is the thing that I see let actors down the most. I mean, like, hundreds of them. All over Facebook, I see people sort of saying they're going to do stuff in such a generalized way that I'm like, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen because you are not specific enough on what it is you want. What outcome? And every coach that I have in my life right now, and there's a few, bless them, and they put up with a lot of shit from me because I kick back a lot. Like, it would be very hypocritical for me to try and coach you guys and not be coached myself. So I know what this is kind of like when it's pushing you to do stuff that you might not normally do. But they always tell me that what do you want, Ross? What's the outcome? And when it's too general, when I go to a business mentor and say, I want to grow Act on This as a community, what do you mean? What do you want? How specific do you want to be? How many members do you want in the community? By how much? How much revenue does the business need to make, to expand? How many guests a year are you having? How many? It's got to be specific. So when setting your goals, most people fall down at this hurdle, right? They don't get specific enough. So ask yourself the following right now. Start thinking about it, and you won't have answers to this straight away because you need to think. I'm put on the spot sometimes, and I'll have, like I say, coaches or mentors. They'll say, "Come on, what's this?" I'm like, I can't focus right now because I need to think about this. So it's all right to think, but what exactly do I want to achieve is the first question. What exactly do I want to achieve in 2021? Where do I want to achieve that? Okay, and that could be literally like geographically, where do you want to achieve it? In the UK, in Europe, abroad, or where in your life do you want to achieve that? In your career, in your relationships? How would you like to achieve it? When would you like to achieve it? And some goals, with whom? Because they might involve family members, friends, a theatre company, a production company, a cast, a crew. You might be writing something with somebody else. One of my goals for this year is to finish the first episode of a sitcom that I am writing with my brother. So you can include other people. So what exactly do I want to achieve? Ask yourself that. Where do you want to achieve it? Either like geographically or where in your life. How do you want to achieve it? By doing what? When do you want to achieve it by? Okay, and with whom do you want to achieve it? So I've got 2 examples. I've got a bad example and a good example of a goal within your acting career here. And it's a little bit of a cheeky plug for something that I'll be bringing out in January as well. So a bad example of a non-specific goal would be, my goal is to become a better actor. Well, what the frickin' hell does that even mean? Does it mean, like, what? Within your craft? within the money you're earning from your career, within the impact you're making in your career, within the number of people who say you're good. I mean, what are you even like measuring better as? It's exactly the same as saying, I want to, and I've got another example in a minute, I want to earn more money. No, it's pointless. What does it even mean? Okay, so a better example of that would be, what exactly do I want to achieve? Well, I want to, achieve more confidence within my acting. Okay, so it's far more specific. So I want to develop more confidence as an actor by completing the Bulletproof Actor program, right? And for those who don't know what that is, there's quite a few people on here who have been on it. It's an amazing 5-week sort of transformation program to do with science-backed positive psychology and your mindset. Because so many actors that I've seen over the last 15 years working in casting, out of casting, in my own career, the thing that I see actors, falling down more than anything on, and the thing that I see stopping them from having the success they want more than anything is just themselves. It's just up here. It's just their head, their mental game. It's nothing else. It's not their ability. It's not their lack of resources, because a lot of actors are very resourceful. They can do a lot with very little. It's always them. It's always like they just don't believe that they can do it. It's like it's the biggest hurdle is themselves ultimately. So one way to develop more confidence would be doing this program. If you want to get involved with that, bulletproofactor.com, little plug. You can check that out. But that's a better example. So the more specific you can make your goal, the more clarity you gain on what you're actually aiming for. Okay, the more clarity you have, you'll find, the easier you will find that pursuit ultimately, because you can work backwards from it, guys. You can just work backwards from the thing that you want. Nick just downloaded the workbook. Nice one, mate. Excellent. So yeah, if anybody is in the comments and asking where you get it from, if someone could just put a link to the workbook in the comments again, that would be fantastic. So is everyone with us so far? That's S, yeah? That's S for specific. Pretty straightforward, and it sounds dead easy, and it sounds dead obvious. But if you get that part wrong, like nothing else kind of works. If your goal initially is too general, I want to be a better person next year. What do you even mean? Like, what is that? It's pointless. I want to be more successful next year. I don't have a clue what you're talking about. I want to lose weight next year. No, pathetic. What do you mean? How much? You go and have a dump. There you go. You've lost weight. No, that's not your goal, is it? So you've got to be specific. All right. Next thing, M stands for measurable, okay? Now, this is mostly around sort of like, earning goals and stuff like that. People, aren't specific enough, and they don't actually put a real measurable figure on something. One of the major keys to hitting goals is consistently tracking the progress of them. But how can you track the progress if your goal isn't measurable? So if you're looking for things like, I don't know, take it away from money. What about castings? I want more auditions next year. Right, okay, well, how freaking many? Because you can't measure more. Whereas if you say, I want 10 more auditions next year, you can go, all right, okay, well, we can break that down into monthly, and then into how many you're going to need on a weekly basis, and then we can measure it. We can literally get a diary out, and I'm going to show you a tracking tool that I use in a minute. And you can go, right, I'm going to track my goal here, and I'm going to see how well I am doing. So it's got to be measurable. So another, like a bad example of a goal that's, just like too general and not measurable is, I want to earn more money. It would be the same as saying I want more auditions. It's pointless. A better example of that would be, I want to earn £5,000 more than I did last year. Okay. Because you might need $5,000 for something. Someone emailed me the other day to say they were going to look at doing some actor training at an academy, and it was £4,000 or £5,000. Now, that's a really specific thing to go, right, well, if I want to do that, I'm going to have to earn £4,000 extra next year. And then we can break that down into how much that would be over 12 months, and then in each month, literally down to the week, and then how much a day I have to bring in extra to be able to afford that course. And then you can start doing things that would bring in that money. It's really measurable, and you can track it. So if you set a goal that is measurable, you can break the whole down basically into manageable chunks. It's particularly useful when setting goals around finance and physicality. So weight, for instance, your body composition. There is 0 point in setting a goal to lose weight. I mean, what does that even mean? How much weight would you like to lose? Defining the exact physical manifestations of your goal or objective makes it clearer and easier to reach. So we get that. Everyone on board with that? Specific so far, measurable. They kind of go hand in hand because when it is specific, it should end up being measurable. What's Gary saying here? What about getting your equity card as need paid work to get it and can't get paid work without it? You can, Gary. There's loads of paid work available without an equity card, mate. Definitely. You'd have to have a look at the project type, whether it qualifies, for equity. But luckily, you don't need an equity card anymore to get paid work. Back in the day, when everyone said it was a closed shop, whatever, that's like old school, isn't it? Oh, it was a closed shop back in the day. You need your equity card to work. You're all right, mate, at the moment. So, you don't need that. Spotlight is more of a catch-22 because you need credits to get on Spotlight, and Spotlight is one of the main places to get credits from. But in that case, you would use Mandy, you would use Star Now, the other platforms that are out there, Theatre, in order to get those credits to get on Spotlight. But equity, I'm not completely up to date with the criteria of what the projects have to be to get on equity, but you certainly don't need an equity card to get paid work. Thankfully, you did back in the day. A is the next letter of the acronym, achievable, right? Now, don't get this twisted, all right? I am never going to tell you to be realistic, right? Because I don't think that is... I don't think it's conducive for like achieving greatness, really. But you also don't want to be deluded either and get that confused. So it's not about, that's just, don't be too realistic. You shouldn't be setting goals that you're like, I can easily do that. But equally, delusional goals, you've got to realize when the chances of that happening right now in the season of life you're in, and we'll cover that in a second. You've got to, realize that sometimes those goals might be a little bit delusional right now. So I'm not going to tell you to be realistic, but you must still consider how achievable your goals are, okay? If you don't have the time, the experience, or the money to hit a certain goal right now, you'll probably fail, really, and that's just going to make you miserable. And when you're miserable, you don't believe in your potential, you don't take any action, and then because you don't take any action, you get shit results. And because you get shit results, it feeds back into your belief, and you go, oh, see, I'm a loser. Just never win, I never do anything right, blah, blah, blah. I see it all the time. So your goals must still be challenging, but not delusional, right? And it doesn't mean that you can't aim to make the seemingly impossible possible, because I've seen it happen. I've got a great example here, actually, because this did happen, almost. But you're going to need to think about the things in a sensible order, basically. So I've put here, a bad goal would be, all right, that's it. My goal next year in 2021 is to win an Oscar. Now, if you're saying that with zero acting experience, it's delusional. If you're saying it with, I'm not saying you need as much acting experience as you might think, because a close friend of mine did win an Oscar 2 years ago with what would appear to be not all the experience in the world. Quite a lot, but not what you would imagine most, most people would think, you've got to work 25, 30 years at your career before you're considered for an Oscar. Rachel smashed it out of the park. So always try and aim to make the seemingly impossible possible, but remember, you'll realize when you're maybe being delusional. A better goal, if you've got no acting experience at all, would be to land my first speaking part in a TV show. Who is still up for that now? Let me know in the comments who's still whose goal would that be, right now. Land my first speaking part in a TV show. That's still probably too general, because we could say, okay, what TV show? We're going to add on something in a minute to do with time, and also a relevance factor as well, whether that's relevant in your life or your career right now. But let us know if that is a goal of yours for 2021, because that's definitely something that we can help you with. There's 2 people on this call right now who have had an audition for their first TV job in the last week, and I'm just freaking praying that you get it. I really want you to get it, because it would just be such a boost to 2020. So achievable, okay? Now, one of my ultimate goals, this might sound crazy, okay, is to have my own TV chat show, right? I freaking, as well as acting, I'm sure you know by now, I freaking love presenting. Like, I really love it. I just love having human conversations with people. not always about the acting industry, just about life, adversity, overcoming stuff, experience. I think everyone's got a story to tell, and I love chatting. So a big goal of mine is to go, right, I want my own chat show. Now, I know the likelihood of ITV or BBC turning around to me and going, yeah, Ross, here's a chat show for you, mate. Delusional. Not saying it's never going to happen. Right now, pretty delusional. So what I did a couple of years ago, and that's on this.tv, was I started filming. I went out, believed in myself, and I spent quite a bit of money on many cameras to produce really highly polished multi-camera broadcast quality video interviews. Now, unfortunately with COVID, we had to stop doing those, but you will find in the Acts on This.tv members area, and I'll show you, because I don't know if any of you lot have seen these, because they were shot sort of a year, 18 months ago, but if I go over to Acts on This, there's some absolutely freaking, there's some crackers, right? Because obviously for the last year, we've done everything on Zoom, but if you go into your members area, have a look at some of these, because I was just like, ITV are not going to give me a show, so I'm going to produce my own, basically, that's as high quality, broadcast quality as possible. Now, I'm going to have to go back in the archive a little bit here, but look how many features there are here. It's just incredible. I hope you're all making your way through this library of stuff. So there's one with Rob that I did in Media City. And I'll just skip a little bit and show you. I can't play anything because it's you're not gonna get the full effects. But you know, you can see the quality of this. It's really decent. It was done on 3 cameras. We bought all our own kit. So there was a shot of Rob. There's a wide shot. I mean, looks beautiful. Hired out Media City. You know, there's a camera on 2 of us. Camera on Rob. Camera on me somewhere. If that'll even play. You get the gist, though, basically. I was like, look, it's delusional to expect ITV to just give me a job. So what's actually a better goal and more realistic is to create the show myself. And then I've got a proof of concept to use. And ITV, if you're watching, I don't know why ITV. I've got no loyalty whatsoever. So BBC, Channel 4, Sky, I'm not bothered. If you just want some Alan Partridge sound alike to come and do a chat show for you, I'd love to do that. So that I felt was more achievable than going, right, my goal for next year is to get a chat show commission. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I'm like, let's just do what I think is a better option. So that was my interim goal, basically. And now I've got a broadcast quality chat show to use as currency towards that bigger goal. So have a think about what it is you're after. If the thing that you're like, that would be like the peak, that would be like my absolute all, is that realistic in 2021 with COVID at the start of the year? Or is it delusional? How can you make that more achievable for yourself? Because when we are achieving things as human beings, we feel happy. If you ever think in your life when you feel happiest, even if like you've got an audition and you don't get the job, if you feel like you're making progress, you still feel really happy, don't you? The times as an actor when you feel like shit is when you feel like you're not making any progress and you've not achieved anything. So, you know, if you're setting goals that are achievable, but will still stretch you a little bit, then you're always going to be making progress. So you're always going to feel a little bit better. And James Corden did it, and you are far more charismatic than he is. Yes, Elizabeth. Yeah, I know. Corden did it, didn't he? I mean, he had a little bit more clout than I've got at the minute. But you know what? That's what I mean. It's not. You know, it's probably delusional right now to think I could take over James Corden tomorrow. But I'm after you, Corden. Watch out, boy. I'll take you down. Right. This is a really important bit, and this is where again compassion to yourself has to be given. Right? You've got to be kind to yourself. Your goals have got to be relevant and appropriate right now to the season of your life, okay? We all go through different seasons in our life and career, and we are often in very different seasons across the various areas that make up our lives and our careers, all at the same time. So, as an example, right, if you are in the spring of your acting career, so maybe on air right now, we've got some brand new actors who have just decided, you know, they've just graduated from drama school, or you've just decided to actually now finally follow your passion and actually be an actor. Maybe you were something else for many years. So you're in the spring of your acting career. That's a time for new beginnings, okay? That's a very different season than the summer of your acting career, where things are growing and your career is exploding. So if you're in the summer of your acting career and you're in a show, and then that show is really popular and you're going on to do another show, your goals are going to be so different in that season than they are when you're like, right, I need to get on Spotlight. Like, you know, the comment we had before about equity. I need an equity card. I've got to get headshots. I've got to get showreel. There's no point in setting goals in the spring of your career to go, right, I've got to get a second season of such a line of duty, you know, or whatever. Well, you've not had anything yet. So your goal has to be in alignment with that relevant season in your life. Equally, those that, you know, the summer and the spring of your acting career, very different compared to the autumn of your career, where you might be getting ready to sit back and relax for a while, having just reaped the rewards of a busy summer. So you might have just come off a 3-month shoot for a show, and the last thing you want to be doing is getting out and auditioning for something else. You might be like, actually, you know what? I've earned some cash. I've been away from my family because COVID. This has happened for a lot of actors that I know. They've had to literally leave their families completely because of COVID while they filmed over the last 3 months. They've been like locked down in their own little bubble of their filming set. And right now, the thought of going, right, well, straight off the back, I'm going to go and spend another 3 months without my family in another COVID-secure set. They're like, nah, I'm not into that. This is the autumn of my career right now, and I'm going to sit back and relax for a little while. I'm going to have a few months off, and then next year I'll go for another job. If things have slowed down too much and have been looking bleak, so you might have been living in the winter of your acting career and you feel like everything's died, right? That's time to reflect and get ready for the coming spring and go, right, how fresh beginnings next year. You know, yes, I'm in the winter right now, so my goals might need to be bigger, loftier, and I've got to take action on them fast. So they're different seasons of your life, okay? So the seasons of your life don't reflect the seasons of the year, right? So don't worry about that. We're not all in winter right now, we're autumn. They don't reflect your age, and you may be in a different season in one area of your life compared to another. So, you know, your relationship might be in summer. You might have just got married. It's amazing. But your physicality might be, you know, a bit bleak because you've let yourself go a bit. So you're like, right, I'm getting ready for spring, working out in the gym. Your acting career might be in the autumn and you're just chilling out for a bit. Each area of your life is going to be in a different season. So your goals should align to the season, basically. So some examples, if that sounds confusing. A bad goal to set yourself, and these are specific and measurable. You know, these fulfill all the other things, but they don't fulfill the relevancy box. So I'll wake at 6 a.m., specific, right? And spend the first hour of my day writing to casting directors, right? Well, that's specific, it's measurable, and it's achievable. Brilliant. Is it relevant? No, because you've just had your first baby who wakes up at 5:30 a.m. Pointless. You're not going to be able to do it. It's not relevant to you right now. A better goal. This is going to be so sexist. I'm going to get battered for this. I'll spend an hour of my day writing to casting directors whilst my wife takes my son to playgroup, right? Could be the other way around. Forget gender, right? Not being sexist, right? But that's a more relevant goal, okay? If your child that you've had, you know, is going to have some time where he or she is asleep, that's probably a better, or out of the house or with your other half or with your mom or whatever, that's a better time and a more relevant time to do these things. It's probably a more relevant goal to go, right, I'm not going to get up at 6 a.m. My goal, you know, is going to be at 4 p.m. every day whilst Jim is grands. I'm going to write to casting directors or something like that. So that's a more relevant goal to the season of your life. Do not compare the season you are in, this is really important, to the season someone else is in. Because if they're in summer right now, I promise you, autumn and winter are on the way. You can't be in summer forever in your acting career or any other area of your life. You just can't. We all go through seasons, and some days it's like all the seasons happen in one go. You'll be like, the morning, yeah, summer, everything's amazing, and then by the evening, you're in winter, everything's gone to shit, and your career has died. Don't worry, spring is back the next day. All right, so they've got to be relevant. Does that make sense? Because I know it's a bit kind of like, sounds a bit convoluted, that, but it is really important. If you're going to, you know, your goals aren't going to be achievable if they're not relevant. All of these things, if every part of this acronym affects the other part and not in a chronological order, like they all go hand in hand. You can set a specific, measurable, achievable goal, but if it's not relevant, you know, you're screwed. You know, you can set a specific, measurable, relevant goal, But if it's not achievable because it's delusional, then again, you're not going to hit it. So these all affect each other. The last part of the SMART acronym is T, and that's for time bound. This is, I believe, they're all important, but this has got to be up there as, maybe the most important. I think you must set a specific deadline for each of your goals, right? If you don't have a deadline, then there is no urgency to start taking action on anything. And so who here sort of thrives off a deadline in terms of like, if I didn't tell you guys, I'm going to be live tonight at 9 p.m, or I hadn't said I'm going to be live every Monday. I've done this for years, every Monday consistently, I don't know, for 5 years, something like that. That was a goal that I set. I made it a habit because when I first started going live, I actually went, right, I'm going to go live every night for 30 nights. I don't know, is there any old schoolers on here who were, when I first started broadcasting, were on those broadcasts for the first 30 days I did them? I went, I've got to make a habit of this. So I did a broadcast every night for 30 nights. And I set a goal, to go live then after that every Monday. Initially, it was Monday and Wednesday and Friday. And then as we were doing more nights on this, it's now just become Monday nights. But it's something that I set every week. That's the goal. It's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's relevant, and it's time bound because it's like 9 p.m. Monday. I know if I'm not here at 9 p.m. Monday, if I'm not, sometimes the one week I ended up in hospital with my mum, people were sending like search parties out, and we're like, there was loads of messages going, and Petra was getting loads of messages, and in the community going, oh my God, something's happened to Ross. He's never not live at 9 o'clock on a Monday night. And I was like, I'm so sorry, guys. Let's take mum at hospital, which is a bit mental. She nearly broke her ankle. It was horrific. She fell off the garden path, and I opened the door, and oh God, literally like her ankle was coming out of her skin. It was all right though in the end, but I know I can hit this goal every week because it's time bound. I wouldn't have launched that voiceover thing if I hadn't have made it right. That's got to be done by, I think it's like the 5th of January or something like that. If you set a time bound goal, and sometimes like you'll get people who really thrive on the pressure of that. There were some people at my school who like loved cramming their revision in the night before because it's like, oh my God, I've got to do it now. And they just held it. I did a little bit of that. You just held it in your short-term memory. But like a deadline really makes you go that extra mile, stay up a bit later, work harder, do it. So let us know if you like that feeling of like, right, the deadline is approaching, or whether you're someone who just does it well in advance. But if you have a deadline, it makes everything, it just makes everything sort of more real, I think, to be honest with you. And you don't want to let yourself down, do you? And if you tell other people your deadline as well, and I wouldn't recommend you share all your goals all over the place, because sometimes that also gives you the feeling that you've done it almost. Sometimes what people do is they tell everyone, I'm going to smash it next year, I'm going to do this, I've got this plan, then I'm going to do that. And they'll design like a logo for a company, or they'll get like a video intro for something, and they'll put that out going, coming soon. And then they get all this praise for it. Oh my God, that's amazing. That they never go on and actually do the thing because they've got enough from it. They almost like, it's like getting a gym membership and then getting the excitement of buying all your gym kit, buying your protein bars, buying your trainers, and then that feeling that you get that's so nice because you're like, yeah, I'm taking action, almost becomes enough that you don't actually take any action. So share your goals with selected people, but don't share them necessarily with everybody, because sometimes that feeling you get from the positive praise from just saying you're going to do something ends up being enough for people. I've seen that on Facebook quite a lot. So time-bound goals, set a specific deadline. If you don't have a deadline, there's no urgency to take action. So a bad goal would be, I want to lose 20 pounds. It's specific, it's measurable, it's potentially achievable, it could be relevant in your life. But if it ain't time-bound, like lose 20 pounds, in the next decade? Pointless. Good goal. I will lose 20 pounds by December the 31st. I should put a year on that, because otherwise you could go to the 31st, 2075. Make sure your deadlines, I said this at the start, don't all fall in the same month, right? You've got to set some 1-month goals, some 3-month goals, some 6-month goals, and some 12-month goals, because you won't feel overwhelmed then. If you've got 7 goals, you can spread them out over the year. 7 to 10, no more than 10 ever. It's too much. 7 is a nice number. Set them across the year though. Then what you will find, so we'll just recap on that, because there's something that's brilliant that will help you knock them all out of the park. But yeah, to recap on SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Okay. Now you will find once you've written all your goals down, and don't think of this until you've written them all down, get 7 down, minimum of 7 on the page in different areas of your life. You will find one of them, it's obvious, is your push goal. Now, a push goal is one of your goals that acts like a domino, okay, for all the others. So you've got to find which goal, if done first, is going to make the rest of those goals easier, okay? So those people who are like, actually, you know what? This year I've got to get on Spotlight, so I'm going to need headshots, a show reel, and what else do you need? Really, you've got to get some credits, haven't you, in stuff? So, some footage, from the credits that you've got. If one of your goals is I want to lose 20 pounds, there's no point in doing the other things first because your headshots are going to look different, your show reel is going to look very different, everything's going to kind of like end up being kind of irrelevant. It's going to be needing to be done again. I mean, it depends on specific circumstances. There might be a reason to do, to get all that stuff kind of going first, but one of those goals will, maybe you would feel more motivated. And so, Brendan, you did this, mate. Brendan went through a transformation. Brendan sent me a show reel, didn't you, mate? Was it a couple of years ago or something? And then you went, actually, you know what? This is pointless. I don't feel my best. I don't feel motivated. Maybe you just weren't happy in yourself. You're like, I'm going to basically, I'm going to go on this health kick first. That's going to motivate me. I'm going to feel healthier. I'm going to look better. I'm going to feel more confident. My confidence is then going to, leak into my acting. I'm going to end up being, better on screen. I'm going to believe more in myself. I'll take more action. So the push goal, I believe, Brendan, I don't want to speak for you. Let us know. Was actually, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to get my body composition right, and I'm going to work on my confidence and my mindset and my physicality before I attack that goal of going, I'm going to get a new show reel shot. And it could be different, there'll be some people who actually like, you know what? No, sod it. I'm going to do the show reel first, and I'm going to use that to, get something, and then I'm going to, whilst I'm doing all that, I'll get in the shape I want to get into, and I'll just redo the show reel or whatever. But you've got to just look. I guess it's horses for courses, isn't it? Look at what your push goal would be. For some people, it's like, right, it's all about the money. Right now, there'll be people who are like, I'd love to do that, but I'm constantly chasing my tail week in, week out to keep my head above water, so I can't focus on this part of my career yet. So actually, it's better for me and more efficient to take a month off, hustle my ass off, save up a bit of money, or even 2 months off or 3 months off, save that money, and then I can take, 3 weeks off work because I've got some money in the bank, and then I can really concentrate on this stuff. One of your goals will be your push goal. For me, back in 2014, it would get that voiceover workshop done because it was like the revenue that brings in means I can leave my job and everything else, and I can put money into the business and everything like that. So that, for me, was my push goal. But you will find one of your goals is your push goal. And Brendan says, yeah, I did. I thought, as I say, I don't want to speak on your behalf, Brendan, but you're not here, so I'll have to. But yeah, I thought that was the case with you. And Brendan just came out like a different man. Like when we met, Brendan, in Manchester, didn't recognise you, mate. And I didn't expect you to speak the way that you speak. And you have hair now. You have hair in your in that initial show reel you sent me, and you were doing different accents in that reel. That reel wasn't you, or it wasn't the man you have now become. So actually, it probably wasn't authentically you that you were sending out to casting directors. So if you'd have walked in the room as you now, after I'd seen that show reel, I'd have been like, you're not Brendan. So that, for you, was probably the push goal that you needed, and you crushed it, mate. You completely changed your life. He says that if I'm not happy in my physical self, then it shows in my motivation in my work. I'm exactly the same, mate. Honestly, it's a big, big thing. If I'm not working out every day, I just feel like shit. If I'm honest with you, I just feel bad. Like, it does affect my motivation and my enthusiasm for everything else in my life. So that might be the same in your case, you guys who are watching or listening. So look at what your push goal is. Okay. Then after that, when you figured that out, it's all then about breaking that main goal down into actionable steps. And you've just got to tackle one step at a time. Don't get overwhelmed. Just go for one little bit of progress at a time. If your goals are challenging enough, it is unlikely that you'll be able to achieve them in 1 or 2 actionable steps, right? But don't let this put you off. You need to break your goals down into as many small actionable steps as possible. If you can't see all the steps in the journey as well, so important, do not panic. You never will. It's impossible. You only need to see the next step. So imagine you're on a pitch black staircase. You can't see anything. That's generally me when I can't see in the dark at all because of my eyes. Not that most people can see in the dark, but I'm even worse in the dark. The stair you are on will light up just enough for you to see the next step. And then the next step, and then the next step after that. Every one you stand on, you only need to see the next step. And every time you make a step, the next one will illuminate. It will become more obvious what that next step is for you. So the first step to accomplishing your goal, maybe something as simple as making a phone call or sending an email, okay? The trick is simply to start. Not overthink it, not procrastinate. Just freaking start it, whatever it is. If you want to write something yourself. Do you know what I did when I was writing with my brother? I created an empty folder on my desktop with the title of the project. That was it. That was all I did that day. And then for me, I'm like, I started, got the momentum. Tomorrow, I'm going to create a document in final draft. And it's going to be called the name of the project. And I'm going to write on the title page the name of the project, written by Ross Grant and Stuart Grant, and then the date. And then, that's another little actionable step, just one tiny step. Next day, get on a call with my brother. We break down the episode, what we want. Right, okay, next step, going to write the first 3 pages, 5 pages, 15 pages. Little steps. And as you're going, the next step becomes obvious that you need to take. But the trick really is to start. So figure out that first step and gain some momentum, right? The next step will become obvious, don't worry. And then tracking goals. I have used freaking loads of different things over the years. Some paid for, some not paid for. I've used things like Evernote, Day One, like a journaling thing. And then I found this app called Workflowy, which you've heard me bang on about like before, but workflowy.app is the most simple sort of just like listing app. It's nothing more than lists that you can then break down bullet points into mini bullet points, into more bullet points, and you can just create lists and things that you need to do on workflowy.app. I think I've got the website here. Let me just check what it is. Workflowy.app. Overwhelmed? We can help, it says. So, Workflowy offers a simpler way to stay organized. If you have a crazy job or an ambitious project, we will be your trusty sidekick. I don't pay for Workflowy. I don't know if you can. I'm sure there's probably some premium upsell, but I don't pay for it, and I never have. So, I think you can get it free, guys. But yeah, Workflowy.com, actually. I think they must have bought that now. When I wrote the ebook, it was workflowy.app. Someone go to workflowy.app. I'll do it. Let's see if it is still .app. Otherwise, I need to change the workbook. Yeah, it's gone in it. So, okay, they've changed that. So, workflowy.com. I will edit the workbook. Those people have downloaded it tonight. Don't worry, I will edit it in a bit. And you can download a new version. But yeah, workflowy.com. To track your goals. It's basically just a dead simple productivity app for your desktop. You can get it on your desktop, you can get it on your tablet, you can get it on your phone, and when you make a change on one of those things, it changes on the other. So you'll want to make notes like on your next actionable steps alongside other developments on your journey, who you've sent emails to, the dates you sent them, etc., to keep track of that. Ultimately, the more frequently you check in with yourself and your goals, the more chance you have of hitting them. This is super important. Most people only check in with themselves once a year, right? Like usually on New Year's Eve. It's pointless, right? They simply just fail, right? That's it. It's absolute game over for people who... I'm moving things around. For people who just check in with themselves once a year. I'm just making sure I'm still live because my computer had gone off there. Yes, I am still live. If you check in once a month, like this will blow your mind. Once a month, right? It's not a lot, but you've got 12 times more chance of succeeding if you check in once a month with yourself. If you check in once a week with each of your goals, how am I doing on this? Did I send that email? Did I, make that phone call? Have I weighed myself this week? Did I send that email to the casting director? Have I applied for that workshop? I don't know, whatever it is for you. Check in once a week, you've got 52 times more chance of success, guys. And if you check in once a day, it's like 352 times more chance of success than just going, right, I'm just gonna check in on New Year's Eve. I don't know. I see people doing that all the time. I don't know who expects to actually achieve anything by going, I'm just gonna get drunk on New Year's Eve. I'm going to go, right, I'm going to set a goal to earn more money. That's dead general. And then I'm going to achieve that, definitely. And then they check in with themselves the next New Year's Eve party. And they go, did you do that, Sandra? No. So you've got to start designing ultimately the life that you want right now. I'm just thinking that's definitely wrong, isn't it? But I've hit the wrong keys as I've been going there. 352 times. Should be 360. What, once a month? Surely if you're checking every day, you've got 365 times more chance. Forget that. We'll figure that out. But yeah, ultimately, you got to start designing what you want, right? If I could write a fully fledged book on goal setting, and I think I will do at some point, right? I'll definitely do that. But until then, and I'll get the numbers right, just this information that we've gone over tonight should be enough for you guys to start designing the life that you want and that you that you deserve. I want to set you just a task tomorrow to basically go. You can walk, can't you? You're allowed to do things. Is it the 2nd of December lockdown's kind of lifted? Elizabeth 365. I've clearly hit the buttons and I've gone 5. I don't know what I've done there, Elizabeth, to be honest. But I've clearly just hit 2 keys that don't make the number of days in a year. But do something tomorrow, right? Go for a walk in the morning and just start. Now, it's the 1st of December. Just start reflecting on what you actually want this year. I think we've all been woken up this year with such a lot of, I don't know, a lot of, without sounding horrible, but just a lot of death around. And I've lost a couple of really close friends this year. Not to COVID or anything like that, just, to other things. Still horrific though. And obviously there'll be people on here, I'm sure, listening on the replay who that is a reality for. But, we've all kind of had that sense of mortality. I have anyway, rammed, into my head, at the forefront of my head, going, is what I'm doing right now making me happy? How long can I do this for? Do things need to change? Am I valuing myself enough? Should I be asking for more from the world? Am I giving enough? All kinds of things. And if you're not, and you're not happy, and you're not doing the thing that you want, we have just learnt this year just how short life can be. And you never know what's going to crop up. No one could have predicted this pandemic at all. So get really clear on what it is you want and what you deserve. And a lot of people don't set goals because they don't feel, or they don't set goals that they want and things that they really want to achieve in life because they don't feel they deserve them for whatever reason. Oh, I'm not good enough for that, or that wouldn't happen to me, or just these bullshit limiting beliefs that people have about their ability to achieve or not achieve something. So go for a walk, listen to some of your favourite music. That's key. I freaking love it when I'm running and I've got my favourite music on, which is generally some cheesy 90s, early 2000s R&B. A bit of, we got a bit of Usher from back in the day. Get really inspired and motivated. I'm like, right, come on, what do I want? Let's go. So think of what you want, what you really would like in the next 12 months and what you want the next 12 months to look like. And then write down, I've got 10 there, but write down 7, a minimum of 7 goals, 10 maximum using the SMART acronym. Get this workbook out, follow that through again. These goals should encompass all areas of your life, not just your acting career. Figure out your first actionable step on each of them and then just go for it, guys, right? And I'd love to hear about your goals. I'll put this in at the end of this workbook. I want you to tweet me, because ultimately I'll try if I can and hold people accountable, or I'll try and check in with you. If I know what people in this community want to achieve, then I've got a good memory and I kind of, feel like I know all you guys. And those who are listening on the replay or watching on the replay, come and get involved with this community if you're not already. Be more vocal, take action, take part in things, make us aware of you, because that's what I love about this community. Everyone does help each other out. Saw someone post, Tom, I think you posted in the Facebook group yesterday or last night, it's short notice, but is anyone around to reading for a self-tape for me? And you got loads of offers from that. And the people in this community just will do whatever they can, and myself included, to just make sure you do hit the goals that you want. We'll just try our best to support you and make 2021 your best year ever. So tweet me at Ross A. Grants, at Act on This TV, and I will make sure I will reply to everyone who does, at least with a hell yeah, get shit done kind of thing. And if you are looking for accountability, we've got the Facebook group. Now, I know I'm live in that Facebook group right now, but if you're listening to this somewhere else or watching it on YouTube or somewhere, facebook.com/groups/Act on This TV. So facebook.com/groups/Act on This TV. Come and join that. It's a completely free group. I'll let you guys know if you are a member, if you're a premium member of actonthis.tv, it looks like we will have a premium member only Facebook group next year in 2021. That's something I want to develop. It might mean we take the private community down on the main site and we replace it for a premium member only Facebook group, because it just means I can go live in it and I feel we can maybe keep in touch with each other a little bit better. So I'm looking at that. But in the meantime, if you're not a member of actonthis.tv, or if you are right now because the premium one doesn't exist, facebook.com/groups/actonthistv. And if you are watching this or you're listening to this somewhere and you've no idea what actonthis.tv is and you want to try the site out for completely no risk for 7 days for £1, go to actonthis.tv/7 days, the number 7 days, and you can get yourself a membership 7 days for £1. Cancel it within 7 days. You will pay nothing again. If you choose not to cancel it, you will be automatically enrolled in a membership. So make sure that you want that to happen. If that's the case, so there's no surprises. I want to be completely transparent with you. But actonthis.tv/7 days. If you want to come and get involved, and let them know in the chat why they should get involved, guys, because it's freaking good. People in this community have still crushed it this year. One thing I'm so proud of, everyone in this community, it's just what they have managed to achieve this year, even with all the adversity that we've had in the world and the shit that's gone down. Like, people have still, we hustled, we changed direction when it came to the webinars and things that we do on actonthis.tv. They moved from in-person podcasts to online Zoom calls. We've now done, I think this year we must have done, God, I don't know, 70 or so, with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers in this industry. And from those calls, you guys have took action. You've signed with agents. People have got auditions. You're now self-taping for shows that, a few months ago you would have only dreamt of self-taping for. And shit's happening. So, use the next 4 weeks as well. Yeah, think about what you want from 2021. But maybe you want to set some little micro goals that you can achieve between now and the end of the year. And if you want, I don't know, maybe don't know whether we do a session, maybe we do like a premium session on goal setting and workshopping it. I don't know if there's something else that we can do to just make sure that you are going into 2021 strong with a clear vision. But let me know if that would be something of interest. But yeah, actonthis.tv/goals as well. If you've just joined this stream and you want to get the workbook that I just been through tonight. Has that been helpful? Has it kind of at least given you a bit of a structure for how you can, how you can design the life that you want? Saba says, I've met amazing casting directors and actors on here. Everyone is so supportive. Honestly, it is good, isn't it? That's the thing. It's just so many reasons to get involved. So Sandra, it's just a way to stay in the loop in the industry, and also just what a freaking great way to actually meet and get to know the people who run it. Really run it. The people we have on literally are in charge of this industry. They are the casting directors that thousands of actors are dying to get in front of, and they come on here every week on the premium masterminds that we do for members and tell you how you get in front of them, invite you to send them emails, invite you to send them your show reel, tell you their email address. Can't do much more for you guys. And if you're not getting involved, you need to ask yourself why. Because one TV job, this is a question that I'd ask anybody who is I'm going to think of joining the community, but I'm not sure, is if you don't think with the help of the biggest casting directors in the industry, who and agents and actors who've already achieved what you want to achieve, if you don't think with the help of them on a weekly basis, holding your hand, that you can land one job in a year, because that's all it'd take to pay your membership fees back double. The minimum job you get on any serial drama, if you've got one line on a serial drama, Hollyoaks, Corrie, Emmerdale, one line, you could be the delivery driver who says, "Hi mate, got this delivery for you." The minimum you're getting is about 450, 500 quid. A year's membership to Act On This is 247 quid. Double your money. And if you don't think you can achieve that, even with the help weekly of the biggest names in the industry and those very casting directors who can give you that job, you want to question why you're even in this industry. Because you must have so little belief in yourself. And it's all, as Alyssa said on last week's webinar, believe, man. It's all about the belief you have in yourself. If you really believe you can do it, you will take the action that's congruent with that belief. If you think you can and you believe in your potential, you'll do that. If you want it, you will find a way to do it. And if you don't, you will find an excuse for why you can't do it. And it'll generally be fear dressing itself up as some kind of practicality in your life, that it's not the right time or some bullshit thing like that. It's never going to be the right time. None of us could have predicted COVID was going to be here. You know, you couldn't have planned for that. You can never plan. Control's a freaking illusion. It's bollocks. So start taking action on those things, that we talked about tonight that you want to do with your life. I think the Zoom calls were a silver lining, to be honest. It's interesting, isn't it? It's changed the complete direction of actonthis.tv, the Zoom calls. I still want to get back to doing some podcasts, but the Zoom calls will always be a thing now. And I want to do some in-depth podcasts just so I can put them out that you guys can take in your own time. But yeah, Zoom is definitely, the way we run it now, and Zoom is definitely here to stay, without a doubt. It's a feeling of not being on your own, which is priceless, says Liz. Exactly, Liz, definitely. Webinars you've done over lockdown really helped me get through lockdown. Cheers, Sharon. Let's have a look. Very helpful, says Nicola. I was going to say, why are you crying about that, Saba? What are you crying about, Saba? Beck says, spend that £1. It'll give you a kick up your butt you need and so much inspiration. Ross is also a bit of a life coach. Cheers, Beck. I don't know why I am. I just share my own life, I think. I'm not sitting here saying I'm a guru, guys. I'm like, I'll have a perfect life. I haven't. Behind the scenes, I'm a hot mess a lot of the time. I'm like, fuck, I've got so much to do and this to do and that to do. But I'm just a big believer in taking action. It's something that I started doing, really, like I said, in 2014 through what I've shared with you tonight. Someone taught me how to set goals properly in my life. And before that, I'd never known how. And it honestly, like I said, within 15 days, it sounds like such a big thing to say in some sort of bullshit thing, but it transformed my life. It made me go, holy shit, like if I actually get clear on what I want and then I break down how to get it, I can do it really fast, or a lot faster than it would be if I just, went with the tide of life. I think there's a lot of people and a lot of actors that I see, and I sometimes feel like this occasionally, who are like a piece of driftwood in the sea, and they're just going where life takes them. Oh, I'll stumble across that relationship that is the one for me. I mean, that's bollocks, isn't it? If you want, and all kinds of things like that. That's where fairy tales have screwed up the world. Prince Charming or Princess, you'll find them like it's just meant to be. It should just feel right. If you want to get better at anything in your life, you go on a course and you learn how to do it, or you put the hours in and the effort to do it. No relationship can ever just feel right. Like you got to put the work in as well. But you get people just drifting. Oh, that'll happen. This will happen. Make it happen. Design it for yourself, because you can. You really can. And you will feel way more fulfilled because you'll be feeling like you're making progress. Justine, thank you, Ross. So helpful. Take care, everyone. Cheers, Justine. Thanks for being here. What a cracking show reel you've got as well, Justine. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I think you could do with a shorter cut of it, but what amazing work you've done. Some freaking cracking work on there. Really, 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 really good. It'll be so good to meet up, says Tom, when we can. Yeah, no, that'll be cracking, that when we can start doing things in person again. That'll be brilliant. And Zach says, best investment I've made all year without a shadow of a doubt. Nice one, Zach. Keep spreading the word. It means the world. But no, I do think, honestly, I've tried to give more value than ever this year, and I feel we've delivered, definitely, just by the the community we've got here and the results that people are getting. So it means the world. You're all part of it. If you're not part of it, actonthis.tv/7 days, come and become a part of it, or just get a freaking year. Try it out for a year. Let us all change your life, and then you'll love it. Right, Thursday night. Here's what's going to happen. Oh, do you know what I should have said? Oh, it feels like I'm just on some sort of sales pitch now. We've gone a bit later tonight, haven't we? We'll wrap up in 5 minutes. There's 2 places left, I think, on a Black Friday offer. And this is for members or non-members. It depends if you're already a member. Depending on when you signed up, it might be worth you doing this or not. Sometimes, if you're real old school and you signed up a long time ago, you might be on like a cracking deal. But if you go to actonthis.tv before midnight, because it's Cyber Monday, it finishes at midnight. It's not going on any longer than that. But actonthis.tv/Black Friday, how many spaces? There's 2 spaces left. I put 10 lifetime memberships up for grabs on actonthis.tv. Basically, you pay one price, you never pay anything again. It's for new members, it's a complete no-brainer. For existing members, depending on when you signed up, it might be a brainer or a no-brainer. It just depends on how much you're paying at the moment. If you got in 11 years ago, you'll be on a significantly cheaper membership than it is today, so it might not work out better for you. But actonthis.tv/Black Friday, 2 spots left there. 8 have gone already, but 2 will be available until midnight tonight. So that's like, what's that? An hour and a half-ish left. So if you are on the fence, actonthis.tv/Black Friday, get yourself over there. Grab one of those if you want. And you get 344 quid with the bonuses for free as well. It's an absolute, that really is a no-brainer. That'll change your life in 2021. Right, this Thursday night, got a cracking webinar for you guys. Member-only webinar again. I keep bumping into this actress at loads of read-throughs over the years for various TV shows. We actually go way, way, way back. My friend went to university with her sister, so we kind of know each other from a while ago. But she's just a fantastic actress, real hard worker, one of the nicest people you meet in the industry. And every time I met her at a read-through for something that we can't say what it was yet, because I don't think she's allowed to say. It'll be out next year. And I was like, right, you're coming on a webinar. And we've sorted it out to get on a webinar this week. Fans of Emmerdale will instantly recognise this actress. I'm going to play you this now. But it's just going to be a really super honest chat about the industry, about life after you've been in a show for so long, getting back in the auditioning saddle, the struggles with that, the breakthroughs, the highs, the lows, everything in between. It'll just be like a super inspiring chat. Again, that's just going to pump you up for 2021. I want everybody to bring with them a mulled wine, or like a Bailey's hot chocolate, or a Bailey's latte, or something like that, because it's going to be Christmassy. This is happening Thursday night, 3rd of December. Check it out, and then we'll wrap it up tonight. We've got just 1 month left of 2020 Actors, and we're going to finish it strong with 4 incredible actonthis.tv live mastermind sessions, the first of which is taking place on Thursday, the 3rd of December at 7:30 p.m. with this amazing woman here. Of course, you'll recognise her from her 14 years playing Katie Sugden in Emmerdale, but you'll also see her starring opposite Philip Glenister in ITV's Prey, opposite Helen McCrory in ITV drama Fearless. She'll be back on your screens in 2021 in a project that we cannot talk about yet. It's Sammy Winwood. Sammy, thank you so much for doing this. What can we talk about?
Well, we've got lots to talk about. So we've got, I'm going to be talking about my career, my decade and a half in Emmerdale.
Yes.
Just how it's been since I left Emmerdale, and the highs, the lows, and getting back into the big bad world of auditions.
Yeah.
Just the reality of leaving such a secure role, and trying different mediums of TV and theatre and drama as well. And what else? Oh, how COVID has affected my career this year, which I think everyone will have their own stories for that.
Yep.
And also we'll be taking your questions on the night as well. So anything you want to ask me about, like auditions or casting, working on set, then come down and get involved.
Come and get involved, actors. Absolutely. If you want to get involved in this, you want to literally get the opportunity to jump on camera, to chat to Sammy, put your acting career questions to her, anything you think is going to help you get further in your career faster, get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live right now for full details of this webinar and all future webinars as well. And Sammy, everyone gets asked this question. Why don't actors, bit of pressure, right? Why don't actors want to miss this one in particular?
Oh, well, the Christmas markets are closed, aren't they? So great substitutes. Get down here, glass of wine, mulled wine, Bailey's, and just sit with us and have a chat. Oh,
I love it. I will be getting I'm definitely going to get a Bailey's hot chocolate. Bailey's hot chocolate or a Bailey's latte. Christmas countdown is on, folks. Be there. actonthis.tv/live. Boom, actonthis.tv/live if you want to get involved with that. And you'll also find on actonthis.tv/live as well the full schedule for most of the events that we've got in December. The week after this week, which is next week. Next week, it's going to be a cracker again. So many people have asked me about voiceover. We had Peter Dixon on this year, who's voiceover man, the voice of the X Factor and stuff. We've had him on. My agent has been on in the past as a podcast, but my agent, the voiceover gallery, my agent has never been on a live interactive webinar. I've not just persuaded Katie, like the manager of the voiceover gallery in Manchester up here. The voiceover gallery is in London as well, but she manages like the I don't know if she actually manages both Manchester and London now. But we've also got, the whole team basically. We've probably got 4 or 5 agents from the voiceover gallery joining us on next Tuesday from the office. It's going to be pandemonium. But if you really want to hear from an agent in the voiceover industry what they need from you to, be a good voiceover artist, to break into the industry, what you need on your demo, the mistakes they hear actors making every single day, the things they like, they don't like. I mean, ultimately, it's going to be no holds barred, because I've known these amazing people for such a long time. Again, it's going to be a super honest, super relatable chat. I just want to get as many people into voiceover as I can. So that's next week. The week after that, we have got an Oscar-winning actress joining us. The week after that, do you know what? We're going to end the year on the 22nd of December with a Christmas cocktails and conversation evening. There'll probably be no agenda, but to get a bit drunk, to be honest, put a Christmas jumper on, Christmas hat, and celebrate the fact that we got through this year. So that's going to be a member-only sort of like networking evening. We'll do a couple of hours where we do, breakout groups and stuff. You'll get to meet actors in the community you've never met before. You'll get to chat, hang out, get drunk, or not get drunk. You don't have to have a drink. I will definitely be having a drink. And that'll end the year on the 22nd of December. And then we'll be back, obviously, promptly in January. 2021 is going to be a massive year for the site, though. We're going bigger than we've ever been before. And I'm going to go all in on bringing you some just more incredible guests, but real. We're going to go international. I think we're going to start bringing in some A-listers from the States and stuff. I want Matthew McConaughey to come and have a chat. I'm sure he will. I might have to pay him significant cash, but people like that. So 2021 is going to be absolutely amazing. But we've got a really good line up until the end of this year. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Thanks so much for being here. actonthis.tv/goals. Get your goal setting workbook. Let me know how you get on with that. Do tweet me. Let me know what your goals are, and how this community can can help you achieve those things, because together we're stronger, aren't we? Together we can. Right, I don't know what I've got to play you on the way out. What have I got to play you here? Got a mashup of Louise Kiley, but we've played that. YouTube, make positivity louder. What's that? I don't think that's going to be anything. Oh no, that was my rant about going. People are just focusing on shit. What can I play you? Is this Daniel Edwards, or is this just blank? The screen might go completely blank.
The serious things of the things that happen outside come in and...
No, it's Daniel Edwards. We love a bit of Daniel Edwards. Here's a little bit. It's the only video I've got lined up that I don't think we've played in ages. Got a little bit of Daniel Edwards here. I think it's about enjoying the 15 minutes or something like that. Be prepared for a bit of swearing. Daniel Edwards is the casting director for Line of Duty, Responsible Child, that just won loads of international Emmys. He's just one of the most incredible blokes you'll ever meet, but also a fantastic casting director. So I'll end on this because a bit of a laugh. If you want to watch the full 3-hour, I think it is, podcast with Daniel that we did in my kitchen last year, actonthis.tv, get your membership. And those who are new members, go and dig this out. It's called Be Fucking Brilliant with Line of Duty co-casting director Daniel Edwards. It's in your members area. Here's a little clip from it. I hope this is the clip where he says about enjoy the 15 minutes. I think it is. If it's not, it'll be another clip from Daniel that you'll enjoy. But this is Daniel Edwards. I'll leave you with. Thanks for being here. I'll see you Thursday evening with Sammy Winward. It's going to be a cracker. Get your Christmas jumper on. Bring your Baileys or whatever. And I'll see you there. Love to you all. Until then, bye for now. Get your goal setting done.
The serious things of the things that happen outside, come in and enjoy the moment. The privilege of being given a script and reading words of a character that's been beautifully written and beautifully executed, and someone has invited you in because they believe you are going to understand that character and give us something that's going to make that character come alive. What an exciting privilege. Enjoy the fucking 15 minutes. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. I know it's hard. I'm making it sound much more simple than it is, but enjoy those moments. Go outside into the real world and think of all the politics and the shit. Come into the casting room and enjoy that 15 minutes of showing off. You get to show the fuck off.
Who doesn't like showing off?
That's, the core of performance.
Yep.
And it's those actors that come in and enjoy that are the ones who get the gig, for me.
Yep.
And they're the ones that I really champion, because I know that they are finding different ways to express their talent. So I want to be a part of that. I want you to come in and I want you to go out and me be as excited about watching the last episode of Boardwalk Empire. I've never screamed at the television so much in my life than the last episode of Boardwalk Empire, one of the most astonishing television shows. Or something of When They See Us recently that just blew my mind and just upset me deeply and triggered loads of things. And many shows. But how amazing, I get to see that with every actor that comes in. I get 15 minutes of that. I get 15 minutes of performance in front of me, live theatre in front of me. How fucking amazing. What I don't want is 15 minutes of fucking angst-ridden grief.
I was watching that. I was engrossed. So I started packing up and I hadn't actually finished. I'm still watching it. Right, I'm going now, guys. Until next time. Bye for now.